Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus. You are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and my main man,
JC.
John Coleman.
T.O., what's poppin'?
The interest is up and the stock market's down.
I've never heard that jingle.
And you're gonna get mugged if you go downtown. Hank Williams Jr., Bo Cephas, 1981. 40 years ago.
Wow.
40 years ago, those were the lyrics of Country Boy Can Survive. And no lie, I checked my rate sheet. Interest is up.
Yeah, yes it is.
I listened to the Federal Reserve talk. Interest is going up.
Oh, it is?
And then I logged into my damn TD Ameritrade account.
Interest is going up?
And the stock market's down.
Oh, no.
I hope I don't get mugged if I go downtown.
No, I don't know. Well, it feels like 40 years since the last time we've been on an episode together.
Bro, we have some catching up to do.
So shout out to us catching up.
We have a lot of catching up to do. Hey, you know what? Shout out to Ruth.
Shout out Ruth.
The Ruth is on fire.
God, I didn't think
Ruth
you'd say
with
that on air.
Marco Island Loans.
Shout out Ruth. We're our dope centerpiece. Looking for the beers on the inside. Maybe that's on the. That's
right? I was wondering that. So Ruth sends us a nice note,
awesome
right?
note.
With this awesome, beach cooler,
Yeah.
great for a 6-pack.
Yeah.
I went looking for that 6-pack of Highlight because I like my IPAs.
And it wasn't there.
I think the FedEx guy stole it.
But hey,
maybe he likes Highlight more than I do.
You taught me this. Just be grateful and express gratitude that you got the damn cooler.
We are grateful, honestly. Right. We are grateful to all of our listeners, especially people like Ruth. Who do look out and they do listen and they do tune in.
Right.
And she's like, hey. And she had some episode requests. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to fulfill hers because she had like requests on the do not call list or texting and compliance. I'm going to tell you this about compliance. I hate it. I hate it. I'm a compliant person. If I feel like I don't know the answer, I will reach out to my compliance department. But I don't know if I'm a subject matter expert to want to come and sit down and talk about compliance. And compliance is boring.
A shmee.
Yes, a shmee. Yes, I know who my shmee is, and sometimes my shmee and I will butt heads. We will not get along. We will not see eye to eye. But Ruth, it hasn't gone unnoticed that you would like, maybe I can find a shmee to come in and talk about texting as a way to generate leads or lead follow-up or lead conversion.
Yeah.
And then obviously, do not call list makes me think that you're talking about working a database of cold leads or people who didn't necessarily already reach out to you. And we don't teach a whole lot of that yet on the podcast. Not saying that we won't.
Yeah.
Right? Like we have the website built now, tloponline.com. It's alive.
Yes.
It's in month 2.
Yep.
Right? So February marks month 2 for tloponline.com or the loanofficerpodcast.com, where you can find all of this content plus a plethora of more content. So we'll find a way, Ruth, over the course of 2022 to work that in. It's not something we're going to be able to do right away.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, we do love you for tuning in. We do love the cooler.
Yeah.
We're missing the 6-pack of Highlight, but that's all right.
That's the one. I'll still put it to use.
Yeah. Hey, how about gratitude, attitude, outlook, and perspective? You mentioned that.
Yeah, I did because I just watched your TED Talk that you gave. Teaser. Shout out.
Right. You put it out in the universe, John. Although that's a lot of pressure.
No, it's not.
That's a lot of pressure.
The pressure you put on yourself.
Dude, I was asked, and for those that don't know, John posted a bonus episode, right? Just like a week or two ago, a bonus episode, which was me at Waterstone's annual conference. So every single year, Waterstone Mortgage puts on an annual sales conference, and most mortgage companies do. And if your mortgage company doesn't, then you should seek one out. Like we just had a podcast listener reach out to us via Facebook. Was it Justine?
I'll say it is. Justine.
I think it is.
Okay.
I think it is. But she reached out because she's like, hey, I'm entering year 2. What type of live event? I want to travel somewhere. I want to go to a business conference, a work conference.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that research for her.
Okay.
And I'm gonna reply back. Ultimately, put it out in the universe, John.
It happens.
I think we should do a TLOP live event.
What?
We should do a TLOP live event. Like maybe narrow it down to like just 48 mortgage professionals. We can host it here in Orlando, Florida.
That sounds like a good idea.
But we're not close to that. So I need to answer her request because there are other people that I've looked up to in my career.
Right.
Todd Duncan puts on an annual event. Todd's kind of like a godfather. Now, the problem with godfathers is they kind of get old and stale.
You don't say.
Yeah. But nonetheless, that dude is the godfather. So we have to look up to him for that. There used to be this event called Mortgage Mastermind.
Okay.
It was put on by a guy by the name of Stephen Marshall. So following that particular event, was really cool. He would do it in Vegas, usually in the summertime. He once did one in New Jersey. I actually attended the one in New Jersey. Our boy Renee Rodriguez.
Shout out Renee Rodriguez.
Yep. So Renee is doing something in March in Las Vegas.
Amplify?
Yeah, it's his Amplify, but it looks like via his social media post that Renee's also looping it in with some other things. I don't know if they're mortgage related or just entrepreneurial and business related.
Right.
Obviously, Tony Robbins does his thing. There's the people over at Mortgage Marketing Animals. They do their thing.
Right.
There's this new company. I'm not that familiar with them, but it's called Next Level. Next Level's doing their thing. I can't tell you if their events are good, bad, or indifferent because I've never been to them personally. But I follow them on social, and I know people who know them, and the people I know who know them speak highly of them. So I could, through that kind of Kevin Bacon type of
6 degrees.
6 degrees, be able to speak on their behalf. But I will research some things, and I'll try to reply via Facebook. But I'm going to tell everyone the best way to get a hold of me is LinkedIn. Like Dustin Owen on LinkedIn is a phenomenal way. I just noticed, literally, just you and I catching up. I just noticed, like, it was 2 nights ago or 3 nights ago, we had like 17 unread messages on IG.
Yeah.
Like, that's totally on me. I don't know if it was the new phone I got, because I did lose my phone in Nashville.
Yeah, that happens, man. You can't be leaving your cell phone on random tables on Broadway, bro.
Correct. If you're down on Broadway, it's after 11 o'clock at night, and you're with a group of people, word to the wise, do not put your cell phone on the table and go to the bar to get a drink or stop by the dance floor to dance, or maybe go give the band a 20 to go play your favorite song.
Damn, a 20.
Hey, I wanted that song now.
Did they play it?
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say 20. Shit.
Yeah. It's funny. I rolled into Nashville not thinking, like, if I roll into Vegas, I'm rolling in there with like some cash.
Yeah.
I didn't roll into Nashville thinking I needed cash, so I had like maybe $100 cash on me.
Yeah.
That shit was gone in like a night.
Really? Didn't last you the
I
whole trip?
tipped the bands.
Did you?
Tipping the bands. Yep.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah, I want songs. But then the bands get smart and they actually have a Venmo. So I can just Venmo the band.
Jesus.
Yeah, which is even better.
What world do we live in?
I don't know. It's amazing. You know, I Venmo'd a valet at a restaurant.
I know. That's too much.
That's crazy,
That's
right?
insane.
So, how to get on that rabbit hole? So anyhow, the gratitude, attitude, outlook, and perspective is what we were talking about. I was in Nashville for Waterstone's annual conference. That's what made me think about the listener who reached out. That's what got us talking about different conferences that you can go to. But so the company that we work for, they put on a conference. So we got to go to Nashville to do it. And they actually asked me to speak on the main stage, which was really cool. Like in the past, I've moderated panels, which is kind of like this format that we do here on TLOP. I had taught breakout sessions. I love teaching breakouts, right? One of my favorite days of the week is Wednesday, because Wednesday at 10 a.m., what do we do, John?
Mortgage school.
We teach mortgage school. I get to stand up in front of a classroom with mortgage professionals, most of who are 2 years or less in the business. And it's anything goes, all holds bars, and we get to talk business, talk entrepreneurship, talk sales, and talk mortgage.
Yeah, it goes really in depth. And you know what? If you're interested in viewing those clips, you can head on over to tloponline.com and check them out.
Look at you go. I wasn't even going for that, John.
But that's the way I think.
Yeah, that's like an alley-oop. That was penny to Shaq. I love that. 1995.
Yeah.
But yes, if you go to TLOP Online, whether it's the freemium content or the premium content, like there's some content and a lot of content for free.
Yeah.
There's even better content, and we're going to ask you to make a small donation of $25 a month.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you this, that website wasn't cheap.
That shit ain't free.
And that website is only 1/10
of
of where we want it to go.
Yeah.
But we need to raise capital to invest in the website. So we figured $25 a month is basically like 3 lattes from Starbucks. Right, a month. I think people could afford that. Those that are serious about their careers are serious about learning and serious about their business.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of those clips that you're seeing right now, they're just clips of us doing our thing from mortgage school. From mortgage school.
Yeah.
Now, eventually, we do want to do even more content where we sit down with a purpose and create it.
Yeah.
But we're not there yet, right? That's part of the evolution.
Absolutely.
Hey, we started with a podcast. Then we developed a podcast audience.
Yep.
Now we have a website. Now we need to develop the website.
Oh, yeah.
And that website's going to allow us to then open up career placement opportunities. It's going to help us with a coaching program.
Yep.
It's also going to help us do live events, right? Put it out there. How cool would that be to do a TLOP event once or twice a year where we get to get together?
Annual TLOP Summit held in Orlando, Florida. I mean, it's gonna happen. So
Is it going to be annual or semi-annual? Do we do it every 6 months?
shit, I mean, it depends. I think we start off once a year,
Okay.
and then we'll go. We'll expand from there.
Yeah, we'll just figure it out. We can bring in mortgage experts throughout the country, and we can teach breakout sessions, and maybe I'll do a keynote like I did.
You don't say.
Yeah, but that's how that was. That was fun to do, by the way. And I'm a little nervous that you threw it up on YouTube, but I'm kind of happy you did.
Yeah.
Like, it was weird because I woke up that morning like wide awake.
Were you nervous?
I was DO nervous.
Mm.
Like DO, I get excited, nervous. Like when I played football, I was a really hard hitter, and I hit people hard because I got nervous.
Right.
I got scared, and when I get scared, I tend to go 100 miles an hour. So I went to bed early that night. I didn't go out with all the partiers like maybe you did, staying out till 5 a.m.
I mean, it's a part of life.
But I was in bed by 11, and I just like popped out of bed at like 6 a.m. wide awake, and I was able to lay in bed because I don't have note cards, right? Like I had a general idea of what I wanted to say. I knew my slides, could put my slides together, but I didn't really like had this thing memorized. Just general, speak from the heart type thing. But I was laid in bed that morning, and I basically did the whole thing in my head without looking at the slides.
Word.
Like my wife was still asleep next to me in the hotel room, and I'm like,
oh, you had slides? Someone made slides? You had slides?
I made slides. Yep. I can figure that part out.
Right.
There's not many things with the computer I can figure out. I can figure out PowerPoint a little bit, not like the crazy graphs, but I can go steal an image from Google, and then I can, as long as you already have the template form. So I actually asked someone from Waterstone's corporate office to send me their template, and then I could just paste what I wanted to. Yep. So anyhow, they asked me to do something on attitude, gratitude, outlook, and perspective. So I did it. It was pretty cool. It was fun to do. And I remember getting back to the hotel room. I had to change my clothes at noon. I had to do a wardrobe change.
There you go.
Or as my daughter calls it, I had to put on a new costume. Right? I had on my businessman costume that morning. Yeah. We were going to go to the Bluebird Cafe that afternoon for a private event, which was amazing. Like, shout out to the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville, Tennessee. What an amazing experience. We had 2 singer-songwriters perform for us. There was only 30 of us in this venue, or 40. The venue only holds like 68. But these singer-songwriters have written for people like George Strait, for like Lone Star, for this is current country music guy by the name of Morgan Wallen. Like, they have written some like #1 hits, and they just played for us.
Nice.
Like, just 2 singer-songwriters telling their story. Hey, this is a song.
Strumming
the guitar and telling a story about the inspiration behind the song, who they wrote it for, who they wrote it in mind for. Like, there is a song, it's a #1 hit by this country singer, George Strait, who's called The King. His song is called Troubadour. And Leslie, who was one of the singer-songwriters, she wrote Troubadour with George Strait in mind. Like, she's like, yep, I'm writing this song, and this is the guy I want to sing it. And sure enough, he cut it. So what a cool experience. So, I'm all over the place today. I left that keynote, went back to my hotel, because I knew that we were leaving for lunch, and I had to put on a new outfit. I didn't want to wear my business executive outfit, keynote speaker outfit to the Bluebird Cafe. I wanted to put on a pair of blue jeans, my cowboy boots, and a shirt.
Yes, sir.
So that's when I saw my wife, and it's just funny. She asked me, she goes, how'd it go? And I took a deep breath, and I'm like, man, I don't want to overstep things here. I don't want to like get out in front of my skis. I go, but I think it went pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, I didn't shit the bed, Michelle.
Yeah. I didn't totally like stumble and bumble all over myself. Yeah. And I think the audience was picking up what I was putting down, because I was speaking in front of 250 people, right? It was 9 a.m. the morning after everyone had gone to an awards dinner and partied their butts off on Broadway.
Sloppy.
Yeah, and then they put me out there.
Yeah, that's the face they want to see at 9 a.m.
Yeah, but I'm happy that you put it out there as a bonus episode. Yeah, we are over 200 episodes now.
Shout out to episode 200. Yeah, damn.
Yeah. Jesse DiGiacomo gets 200.
Yep.
How cool is that? The 500 unit man
gets the episode 200.
Come
on, man, it's the universe. You can't plan it any better than that.
We didn't even plan it that way.
Of course you didn't.
Right? Like, how fortunate are we? Like, talk about gratitude. How fortunate are we that we kicked off? Well, we didn't kick 2022 off the right way. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, like, John and I had to do a best of series because someone, i.e. me, went on a hunting trip with 10 buddies, and 7 of us came back and tested positive for COVID.
Yeah.
So that was like January the 5th that I tested positive. I was gone January 2nd and 3rd on this hunting trip. So that kind of put us in a bind that he and I couldn't be together to do the podcast. So I'm emailing him, I'm calling him, I'm working from home, he's at the office, and I'm like, hey, let's find some episodes that we did like back in the day that we thought were good episodes, and maybe they just didn't get the traction or the love for whatever reason. So we put them back out there. We appreciate you all tuning in and listening to them and commenting.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, and understanding.
Right.
But what we are fortunate about is we kicked off this year, 2022, like we went Molly, $100 million producer.
Shout out Molly.
Andy Burton. Andy Burton is the best one-legged lender I know.
A one-legged lender, Andy. Shout out to Andy.
His story about how almost dying, literally
dying in a ditch.
Yeah, like losing his leg, motorcycle accident, like knucklehead, his words, not mine.
Right.
And how it allowed him to just become who he is today, who is a phenomenal businessman, a great person, a good dad, a good dude, and a hell of a mortgage producer.
Yeah.
Like he's another $100 million producer.
100 mil.
Right. So then we in the middle, we threw in Tim Davis.
Shout out Tim Davis, great coach.
I talk about Tim all the time. Like he's been a top producer and a top mortgage coach.
Yeah.
We had the opportunity to sit down with him.
Yeah.
Right. And then we go, what? Sarah Cipriano?
Shout out
Sip?
Sarah Sip.
Like Sip is on point. She's one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet.
Facts.
Right. And think about this, like within 3 years of her entering the mortgage industry, this is after her bank told her, nah, you're not good enough to be an MLO with us.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, cool. I'm going to go and actually go work for Jesse. I'm going to go work for this dude named Jesse who has a heart of gold. He's going to give me the opportunity.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go out there and just put people before profits. And oh, by the way, in my 3rd year, I closed over 180 units, of which all of them were referred. So by referral only, and 90% of them were purchased.
No, she didn't.
Yeah, she did. You better tune into that episode, John.
Okay.
Yeah, you better tune into that episode, John.
I did. I edited it.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand for the people.
Yeah, but then as a bonus, because he was in the audience that day.
Yeah.
What was cool about Sips that I loved is it was our first true live
film from a live studio audience.
Yeah,
it really was.
Like we had my niece in here, and she was technically the first person,
one,
but like live. Like
Yeah.
we had 40 people in a room. We had to stop and pause for laughter.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Or hecklers.
Yeah, hecklers in the crowd. Like
so when Sip's manager, Jesse, started heckling.
Yes.
All right, cool. I grabbed him and said, all right, homie, you're going to sit down with us.
You don't, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one, because he's one of my favorite people.
He's
one of the nicest guys you'll meet.
It's awkward how nice he is. Genuinely nice. Like, no bullshit. Like, genuinely a nice person.
And then you have someone like, wait a minute. You personally closed 500 units and your team is only you and 4 other people?
What do you mean? The 500 unit man?
Yeah.
Closed 500 units.
Yeah. That's on top of managing his operation, which includes multiple branches and like 19 other loan officers.
I think it's worth also saying that he like single-handedly like taught Sip the industry and made her, with along with other help, but he like conditioned her to be the loan officer she is today.
Yes. He gave her the wisdom, the guidance, and the opportunity that she needed. And then to cap off the top producer series, to roll in Danielle Anderson.
Oh, wow. We're not done yet.
Yeah, so like Danielle's a loan officer in Colorado who happens to work for Waterstone Mortgage. What's really cool about Danielle's story, and I don't think she and I covered this on her episode, Danielle and I, there's my COVID cough, 30 days later, I still have some residual effects. But Danielle and I met through the podcast.
Yeah.
She was a podcast listener who reached out and was like, yo, I love what you're doing. And I saw her email tag. I'm like, hey, sister. She's like, what? I go, yeah, sister. Like, you're a Waterstone family.
You don't say.
Yes. And her story is amazing because of how she did it, how detailed she is. I started following her on social, which is really cool. She posted this like yesterday or today. She actually posted, she still has it. It's like this large piece of like cardboard where she drew. It looks like a 4th grader drawing, but she drew out her business plan. Like she planned out to leave her job as an executive saleswoman for a Fortune 500 company to become a mortgage loan originator. And she posted to her social. So if you follow Danielle Anderson on social, which I think her handle's like remote year host, she told us.
That's right,
And she's remote year host because what I love about what she did is that she was able to, lean into her strengths, which was understanding Airbnb, teach that to the real estate community, which in return allowed her to build relationships with realtors, and then realtors referred her home buyers that needed mortgage financing.
Yep.
But she did it utilizing technology while doing a like kind of study abroad program for grown-ups. For grown-ups, for business professionals. Yeah. So she did it while living for 4 months in South America, traveling to like 4 or 5 different countries with a group of like 12.
Yeah, she was locking loans like across the world, literally.
Yes. Like how cool? Like how cool has our first 5 or 6 weeks of 2022 been?
I really like the fact that all the top producers we had on the in the series all had different stories. It was all different. It wasn't the same. They didn't come up the same way. They all had kind of unique pathways to get to becoming a top producer.
I think you'll find that. I think if you interview enough top producers, what you'll find is that the core is always going to be the same. But then everything else is going to bring a unique perspective, right? So like the core will be you had a strength and then you leaned into it, right? We interviewed Mike Williams eons ago. Yeah. Mike Williams in his second full year in the mortgage business closed $30 million.
First year.
Realtor referred, purchase focused. Yeah. His second full year. Yeah. No, his first full year. Yeah, his first full year. Yep. And his strength was he came from auto sales, so he had 1,000 past clients who knew him and trusted him in a business manner. So when he joined the mortgage industry, he basically called all 1,000 or texted or emailed and stated something along the lines of, hey, you trusted me with your car purchase. Yeah. Now it's time to trust me with your home purchase. Right? Like that was his message. Yeah. Danielle's strength was Airbnb. Yeah. Right? We just hired this young rookie loan originator who his strength for the past 3 years, he has helped realtors understand SEO, understand Google, understand Facebook ads. His strength, we know going into it, is as a loan officer, he is going to be able to sit down with realtors and still do that. But instead of doing that and asking for a fee, he's going to do that as a way to help them lead generate. And then as a lender, tell them, hey, I can help you work your leads. Right? Smart. That's going to be his strength. So we all have our strengths. It's just a matter of working it. Andy Burton's strength didn't necessarily come from like, having this massive following the way that Mike Williams did. His strength is he had overcome something so gritty. So gritty and so like almost terrible in his life. It taught him, yes, you can. You can persevere. The hard work is worth it, and you're going to have setbacks. But if you continue plunging forward, you'll get there. Like that's what allowed Andy. Do you remember this? He said he closed 5 loans his first year.
5 loans his first year for what? 14 grand? What is it?
He made $14,000. Yeah, he made $14,000, but he didn't give up. He didn't stop. He didn't. And there's a lot of our listeners who are very similar to Andy. Like they're going into year 2, they look at year 1 and they're like, I don't know how I survived. But Andy, he had that. He had that in him. And Andy also was seeking knowledge. Right. He was constantly learning, and then he was learning so he could teach, and then he was out there networking. I actually talked about that on my little keynote that I did for Waterstone. Right. It's like I feel like as professionals, business professionals, we need to always be learning, always be teaching, and then always be networking. If you can do those 3 things consistently, I think you're going to be successful at just about anything in life, regardless of your profession. Yeah, for sure. How about you, John? What are you looking forward to in 2022? What are some of the projects that you're working on?
The website, scripting, getting scripting up. That's a big lift I'm excited for. Tease, wink, wink.
Tease, wink, wink. I forgot about scripting. You and I just did this. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus, we are hearing you.
Yes.
We are hearing you loud and clear. John and I sat down and for an hour yesterday recorded me scripting.
Yes. We hear you loud and clear, scripting on rebuttals. How do I meet with realtors? How do I get the meeting? What do I say when I get the meeting? How do I leave the meeting? How do I leave with a lead? Etc.
We want to have these videos up on tloponline.com, as well as I want to have printouts, like PDFs, where it's like bullet points. So maybe some people who are struggling can print it out. They can put it on their desk or up on their cork board, write it on their whiteboard as a reminder. And then we want to do more. Like, I'll share it right now. When you're on the phone with somebody, stand the F up. Put on a headset. If you don't have a headset, go spend $200 on a good headset.
Literally stand up.
Stand up when you're speaking, especially when you're selling and presenting.
Why is that?
How many comedians do you know go on stage and sit down?
Mm.
How many performers do you know, unless it's like that really cool, I'm on a bar stool with my acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
No, you stand up when you present. You stand up. Everything about you changes when you're standing up. So stand up when you're speaking, when you're making those calls. Obviously, do not stand up if you're on a one-on-one with somebody. That's a little bit awkward.
Right.
And you never want to be talking down. So if someone's sitting down, you want to sit.
Right.
If someone's standing, you want to stand.
Right.
But I'm talking when you're making your calls from the office, I'm going to tell you to stand up.
Okay.
We don't have that yet, but maybe we could put together a playlist of best practices.
Yeah.
Something that I've never done, but other people do. They have a mirror, a little small mirror on their desk.
And they talk, and they look in the mirror when they
make sure you're smiling. Smile. People can hear your smile. Right? So we are going to make a conscious effort to every 2 to 4 weeks, probably every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We want to release new videos, new handouts or printouts, guides, tools, trackers,
worksheets,
whatever you want to call them, worksheets.
Yeah.
To help with scripting. I'm actually going to have lunch with my business partner, Mike Smalley, who Mike's been on the show a few times.
Shout out Mike Smalley.
Yeah, because one, he's a hell of a mortgage dude.
Oh, yeah, he knows.
Right?
He
knows his stuff. He coaches 20, 30 loan officers a year. He produces at a level of 60 to 90 million, depending on the year.
Right.
Like, this dude knows his stuff. So I'm going to take Mike to lunch because I'm like, hey, Mike, what else should we be teaching on scripting? In the elevator, he was like, bro, have you taught people how to properly do a mortgage review yet? Have you taught people how to properly do a Tuesday status update call yet?
Wait, you're talking too fast, Mike. Let me get out my notes. Hold on.
Correct. Yeah. I was like, man, I was running to the bathroom and he was hopping in the elevator and I just threw it out there.
The universe.
And he just starts spitting.
Right.
So I want to take him to lunch so that he can make sure that he's feeding me scripts that we need to be producing content for, just like we want to hear from you all.
Yeah, please.
Like, look, if there are certain scripts you want to hear us do, then
let us know.
Let us know. Or if you're a master at scripting and you want to come on the show,
let us know.
Wink, wink, nod, nod. Jeremy Forcier, all the way out in California.
Okay.
Yeah, the Napa Valley Loan King.
That's good. Okay.
Like, that dude can script. Google him. Google him. He's been on Mortgage Coach with Dave Savage 1,000 times.
Okay.
Like that guy. Like, I use this script all the time, and I swiped and adapted it from Jeremy over 10 years ago. He was on the main stage at a Todd Duncan event. Todd Duncan's events are usually out in California. I quit going to them because I hate going to Palm Desert. I'm not a Palm Springs guy. I'm not a desert guy, right? So, and there's probably other reasons, but I won't go into this. I did enjoy them though. I really did. And I met and it's even less about what I learned by going out there. It's the people that I met by going out there, right? So like a lot of times by going to these events, I made most of the best use of my time at the bar between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. Like, that's where I met some really cool people. But anyhow, so I see Jeremy Forcier, and I can't remember what he was speaking on, but he was talking about when he builds a relationship with a realtor. He straight up tells that realtor, like, look, John, the reason why you need to work with me is because I'm going to help you capture and close more business. And the way that I'm going to help you capture and close more business is I'm going to, ready? Here's the script. Relentlessly pursue all leads until they buy or die. And by die, John, I don't mean that they actually die. Now, some will. That's just life. Comes with the territory. But some people, by die, they tell me to go F off. But look, the reason why you should refer me is not only am I going to do a good job of treating your client well with the white glove treatment, and not only do I know my stuff inside and out, and I'm going to close on time, and I have great programs and products. Everyone has great programs and products. I'm going to help you capture and close more business because I relentlessly pursue all leads until they buy or die. That was a really cool script. I'm like, boop, I wrote that down. What's really cool is, who was the first person that you heard it from?
Shout out Todd Richards.
Todd Richards. Todd Richards was the first rookie LO that we ever hired here at Waterstone, like under my umbrella with David and Mike. And we hired Todd. We didn't know what we were doing. He didn't know what he was doing. It was a match made in heaven. Now, 9 years later, Todd's one of my favorite stories because he is evidence of, you just come to work every day and you do as you're told, you'll get better. Right? I watched Todd go from 3 million his first year to 6 million, from 6 to 7, 7 to 9, 9 to 12, and last year 20 million.
There you go.
Last year, $20 million. Right? And it's funny because when you heard me say, when we were doing that scripting the other day, relentlessly pursue all leads, you're like, oh, I heard that from Todd.
Yeah, literally.
What's cool is, well, who trained Todd?
Yeah, you.
Right? Yeah, and where did I hear it from? Jeremy Forcier.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's how it works, right? So we want to bring you all of this. And if you have great ideas on scripting or you think you're really good at scripting, then let's do a show together. Yeah. We're going to do a show in a few weeks. We have this guy coming down from New York.
Okay.
Dude's name is Rocky.
Rocky.
Yeah, Rocky.
Balboa.
No.
Just kidding.
No, I can't pronounce Rocky's last name. Okay. It's like a long Italian name, and I'm going to butcher it if I try to. So I apologize, Rocky.
All right.
But Rocky has this Facebook group.
Okay.
And look, if you are tuned in this far, we haven't lost you yet. if you turn in this far and you are struggling, like you are like infancy of your career and you're struggling just passing your NMLS, check out Rocky's MLO Study Buddy Facebook group. Okay, so anyhow, this dude, out of the kindness of his heart, has been helping thousands of future mortgage loan originators pass the NMLS. Like, it's pretty easy to sign up for the 20-hour course and go and take it. Okay, big whoop-de-doo. Now you got to pass that test.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Like, and we have an episode with Bill Benson.
Shout out Bill Benson.
Yeah, so check out Bill. But, like, we have an episode where Bill, the mortgage commander, talks about studying and taking and passing the NMLS.
Yes.
But Rocky, man, he's really doing it through this Facebook group.
In the trenches.
Yep. So we're going to have Rocky on.
Yes. That's
Rocky is legit going to fly his happy ass from New York to Florida.
Yo.
Now, it is cold as shit up there.
I mean, it's,
so
not a bad time to come down.
It's not a bad time to come down to Orlando. But nonetheless, I'm super excited to have that. Like, that's coming up. Yeah. And I'm going to see if we can find a way to collaborate with Rocky. Yeah. Like, how cool would it be to, on TLOP Online, have resources where people can, A, maybe figure out where do I go to even take my 20-hour course? Yeah. Or B, I need to do CE. Where should I go do CE? Yeah. But more importantly, I find that's an easy solve for. You can solve for that pretty easily. Like, Rocky already gave me 5 companies that do it. And I know here in Florida, there's a company called Gold Coast. Yeah. And Gold Coast is where I probably would go if I was going to get my NMLS, which is still on my to-do list, by the way. I still really do want to go through that process just so I can speak more intelligently about it when I'm on episodes and shows like this. Yeah. But nonetheless, Rocky's going to come down and we're not just going to podcast together, but which the podcast episode is literally going to be how to study and pass your NMLS. Okay. Like, that's what it's going to be. Me and Rocky for 45 minutes to an hour just doing that.
Nice.
But I really want you, me, Rocky, and Dennis
to sit down and have a brainstorm mastermind.
To sit down and do a brainstorm mastermind. Yeah. Because I think what he does well and what he's passionate about, and not hearing it from him, but hearing it from his disciples, from his students, we need someone like that in our ecosystem on our team. Team TLOP, we need someone like Rocky. So how cool would it be if he could start creating content that we could offer on TLOP Online? Awesome. Now, right now, he has his Facebook group. Go check it out. Yeah. MLO Study Buddy. Yeah. Has over 5,000 followers. It's a private group, so you have to submit some questions in order to get in. Right. But that's really cool. Yeah. You know what else is cool?
What else?
Like, man, we are catching up here, Sean.
I'll tell you, this is good.
So while I had COVID, I talked to Cindy Velez. Cindy's been a guest on the show. Yep. Cindy was one of my favorite managers. For anyone who hasn't seen Cindy's episode, she was one of my favorite managers. She was once a top producing loan officer. Like, she knows what it's like to be a rookie LO. She then knows what it's like to be a top producer, then a producing branch manager, then a regional manager, right? And then she's done a lot of coaching and education for younger loan originators. And now her career has morphed into, she's a top producing realtor who also teaches and coaches loan officers 2 to 3 hours a day, every single day. So I'm talking with Cindy about how we can bring some of her skill set to the TLOP community. Okay. Maybe that's by creating educational content on maybe some of the mortgage basics, things like LTV, DTI, the difference of Fannie, Freddie, VA, FHA, how to calculate basic income, how to read a credit report, how to read an appraisal, what is title work, how do I read title work, mortgage math, why is it important that I can convert percentages into basis points, and how do I count by eighths, and why do we count by eighths, and how do I run a payment, and how do I calculate mortgage insurance? Like, how cool would it be if we could collaborate with someone like Cindy and start creating content like that? Yeah. Like, so when we say tloponline.com is only at 10%, this is why. We have nothing going on with Cindy. We have nothing going on with Rocky, but this is the direction that we're going. Yeah. I had lunch with Credit Christie.
Shout out Credit Christie, who
Shout
guess what
out.
was also been on at multiple episodes of
She's
the
a
podcast.
fan favorite.
Yeah.
She's a fan favorite. And super long story short, besides she and I catching up, she still kills it.
Yeah.
She's writing a book.
Wow.
I think last year she did like her $40 million. Like,
Yeah, she gets it.
yeah, she's in her 5th year in the business, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she gets it.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, hey, Credit Christie, we're having some inquiries regarding coaching.
Mm-hmm.
You're a top producer.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be interested in being a T-Lop coach?
And what did she say?
Hell to the yes. Sign me up.
Oh, let's go, Credit
Sign
Christie.
me up.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I can get people like Credit Christie to come in and coach some T-Loppers, how about Casey McElroy?
Shout out Casey McElroy, who guess what?
Was on the show.
Yeah.
Casey's a good dude.
Great dude.
Casey's someone that when we bring in a rookie loan officer, we make sure that every rookie loan officer spends 2 hours shadowing Casey because we want 10 more Caseys.
He's a good archetype to build off of.
Yes. Like you were just doing videos with
I
Casey.
literally did, yeah.
And you came and bragged to me.
Yeah.
You're like, this dude is so prepared.
He is.
That's everything he does in life.
That's it, literally.
Yeah. So if you were to replicate like kind of that, remember the movie Gremlins?
Yeah.
Like if you were to sprinkle water on any.
Casey, please. No,
Yeah.
Please, wait, yeah.
Yeah. There's some LOs that do hell of a good amount of business that you're like, yeah, but that works for them.
Right.
You know, like.
He took down that loan application on a napkin and tried to submit it through AUS.
Yes. There are definitely top producers out there that we want to like put guardrails around.
Right.
It's kind of like when you were a kid and you went to that birthday party, the bowling birthday party, they put the bumpers in there. There's a lot of top producers that you want to put bumpers around, guardrails.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to distract them because you need them doing their thing.
Right, but you don't want to necessarily learn from them or teach their practices.
No.
Right.
But Casey's someone that you do.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I can convince Casey to come on board as one of our coaches as well.
Yeah.
Because if we can get people like Cindy Velez coaching, people like Credit Christie coaching, people like Casey McElroy coaching,
Damn.
that's a good little staple of coaches right there. Now, eventually, and this is, I'm going to work on this on dinner. He's told me no right now. He's like, hey, Dio, it's a no for now. I would love to get Mike Smalley up there.
Ooh.
Now, Mike would probably only teach at the master's level.
Yeah.
Like he would.
Yeah.
Like Mike probably only wants to teach people that are already closing 100 units a year.
Right.
They're building a team, and they just need to figure out how they can really optimize.
Right.
But how great would it be to have someone like him?
Hey, you put it out there.
Yeah, you put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
It'll definitely work. So yeah, these are all things that we're working on. Dio had COVID. Boo, that sucks.
Yeah.
I was not able to go running in one of my races. Boo, that sucks.
Boo-hoo.
JC is inundated with the website. Yay, that's good.
Yeah, it's awesome. I really do enjoy it.
Yeah, but the top producer series, we just rattled them off.
Yeah.
I hope that our audience, hope you all that are tuning in, I hope we didn't spoil you.
Yeah.
Like we contemplated, hey, should we just like tease these?
Just dump it all out.
And-
Give
yeah.
it to them
Yep.
all.
Yep.
Yeah.
John's like, nah,
Just
give it to
give
them all.
Give it to them all.
Give it to them all. So
Yeah.
we just came at you strong.
Right.
We do have a queue that John and I, we take down notes. So when people reach out to us and they want a certain show request, we write them down. We do our best to solve for
Oh,
them.
yeah. There's a long list.
Like someone reached out to me and they would love to have an episode on fraud, mortgage fraud.
Right.
I would love to do an episode on that, but I wouldn't be the best person.
Right.
However, I remember this was like 3 or 4 years ago at one of our local Mortgage Bankers Association luncheons.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to get an FBI
No.
mortgage fraud expert.
What?
He came and spoke and crushed it.
What?
Now, I don't know if we'll be able to get necessarily
The feds to come in on
the
the
FBI to
podcast.
come on the podcast, because they tend to not like things that are recorded.
Right.
But
Of
you know,
them.
I'll do my best to solve for that. But that's a harder one to solve for. Just like Ruth was asking for us to talk about do not call
Mm-hmm.
list and texting and compliance.
But I think the important thing is that we see every message and we listen to it and we jot it down, and we'll find a way to create a piece of content that will live on the website that will answer your needs.
Well, that's the best part about the website. Is there certain things that maybe aren't great for a whole episode,
Right.
but they are great for the website.
Yeah.
Like things I want to do. I got a note from, I call him my handler, but it's basically the person at UCF that whenever they want money, he hits me up.
Hit me up, dude.
Yeah, I love Nick Smith. Shout out to Nick Smith,
Your name,
by the way.
Do you have a dorm? Is a dorm named after you? Like the Owen complex? Not that. The quadrangle? The Owen quad?
I don't have a brick.
Bro,
I don't even have a
Do you
brick
have
with
a
my
bench?
name
You
on
don't have
it.
a bench at like
A bench, not even a brick.
Damn.
I think a brick's like $100. No, I don't have a brick.
Okay.
No,
Anyway,
but I love my alma mater. I really
Right.
do. And the older I get, I think I love it more.
Right.
So anyhow, Nick sends me this really cool Thank you. Hey, thank you for your support. You know, like we spent money, bought tickets to go to the Gasparilla Bowl, and we donate so that we can get good seats to the ticket. You know, blah blah blah. Like whatever boosters do. Like you know, Smalley does for Florida State, I do for UCF. David does Stanford. Like, but anyhow, he writes in there something about I told Terry about the podcast. So Terry Mahajer is UCF's athletic director.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So anyhow, I texted Nick a picture.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of calling Nick's BS here. I'm like, you didn't tell Terry about it, but you've taught me this over the past 2 years. So I put it out in the universe. It may happen.
Yeah.
So I said to Nick via text, I'm like, hey, ask Terry when he wants to come on. I would love to do an episode based on careers in college athletics.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything from fundraising to ticket sales to becoming an assistant athletic director to an athletic director.
AD itself.
How does someone do that? Like this show is still everything you should have learned in high school but didn't.
Yes.
Okay? And we do lean hard into finance and mortgage and real estate. But that's not all we want to do.
No.
Right? I would love for this show to continue to gain traction and momentum, and I need the YouTube subscriptions at 10K, and then after 10K we want to go to 30K, and we can't do that if you all aren't sharing us and liking us. I'm going to come back to that. Yes, you know where I was going, but let me finish my Terry story. Right. So nonetheless, I threw it out there. Hey, Terry Mahajer, you want to come on the Loan Officer Podcast? We'd love to have you.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear his story because he started as a collegiate athlete. Yeah. And then he worked his way. I don't know if he was a grad assistant or how he got into college athletics, but now he's an AD at one of the brightest, youngest, most momentum-having up-and-coming universities, which is the University of Central Florida. And I don't say that because I'm a homer. I am a homer, but I'm saying that because that's the truth. Yeah. How cool would it be? And maybe if we had time, we could talk about this whole NIL, name and likeness. But I would rather not touch that. I'd rather actually, pick his brain.
That's awesome.
Sharing. Danielle Anderson. So Danielle, I don't think we covered this on her episode, but I was like, oh my gosh, what a phenomenal idea for our loan originators out there. Yeah. Do you all know one of the reasons we created this content was for you to share it?
Yeah, we want you to share it, people.
Like back in the day. Yeah. When someone said, Dio, why are you doing this? And I was like, well, because it's going to be fun. Yeah. Because I like to get on a mic and hang out with my boy JC. Duh. Yeah. But I said to them, I said, well, here at Waterstone, underneath our management, our umbrella, we have 45 loan officers. Waterstone as a company is 200 to 250 loan officers. At a minimum, through events like Momentum or through events like just my daily management, I have access to coach, mentor, and manage that many loan officers. And that many loan officers, whether it's 50 or 250, have clients. Yeah. So I want to create content for the loan officers, but also their clients. Oh. But what we haven't really suggested and put out there, hey, ladies and gentlemen, take what we're doing. Yeah. What a great reason to do an email blast to your realtors. What? Do an email blast to your circle of influence. Do an email blast to your past clients. If we're creating content that you really like, why not send an email blast? Hey, John, hope all is going well. Happy New Year. Hey, here's a clip or here's a episode of a podcast that I follow. This episode made me think of you. I hope you and the kids are doing well.
That's it.
What a reason to reach out and touch someone without it being like begging for a referral. You're keeping your name and your likeness top of mind, and you're sharing something that you find valuable that you're thinking of them. Right. Danielle told me that she does that. Yeah. She goes, oh my God, all the time with your episodes. Yeah. I will create an email blast through my CRM, and I'll send out one of your episodes and talk about why it's important that they listen or why they resonate.
That's a great idea. You just gave me an idea for the website. I should start uploading some of those mini promo clips up there as well, and then they'd be shareable from there. Damn.
There we go, John. Just scratching the surface.
Yeah, just see that. But that's why we did this episode. I know we're running long on time.
We are. We're running long on time. Look, we needed to catch up. Yeah, we needed to catch up. You and I. Yeah. We need to catch up with our audience. Yeah. We are looking forward to 2022.
Oh yeah, this is
we see big things.
Oh yeah,
we see big things. Now the industry. Hey, look, I'm just gonna put it out there. Maybe we'll do a whole entire episode on this. 2022 is going to make or break you. Period. End of story. This is for branch managers. This is for owners of small independent mortgage bankers, right? This is for loan originators. 2022 is going to make or break you. Because if you were only good in 2020 and 2021 because of the market, you have some catching up to do. You have some growing up to do. You have some learning to do. You need to be refocused, energized, and ready to just grind it out.
Right. Back to the basics.
Now, for those of us that have never turned away from the basics, right? Sarah Cipriano didn't. Although she closed 180 units, 90% were purchase focused.
Still, yeah.
Yeah, for SIP, 2022 is going to be another banner year.
Yeah.
Right? But there's people who are tuned in
It's like,
that you only know of the mortgage industry because you got in 2020 or 2021.
Right.
Just know that's not the mortgage industry. That was a once every 10 or 15 year.
A blip.
Yes. It was like a total eclipse that happens once every X amount of years.
Yeah.
Okay? You're now entering the mortgage industry. 2022 is going to be that. For some of you, it may weed you out. You may find that you're no longer a mortgage loan originator. For others, it's going to be the reason why you are forever successful because it's going to force you to get good. Become a great advisor. Become a great technician. Become a great saleswoman. Become a great presenter, a great storyteller. Be purchase focused. Be the person in your local community that wants to work with you because you're damn good at what you do. Right? You're going to have to differentiate yourself. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to take a lot of effort. But I promise you, because you're talking to someone who has lived through years like 2008, years like 2018, and now I'm going to live, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to thrive through 2022, where it's not going to be easy. It's going to be cutthroat competitive. There's going to be a whole lot less volume with refi shrinking. Let's see what you're made of.
All right.
Let's see what you're made of. I think you can do it. If you're tuned into to shows like this and you shouldn't turn to this episode this long, I'm promising this, and I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. Like, that's a testament to someone who cares. Give yourself a high five. Pat yourself on the back. But good enough never is, so keep moving forward. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus, he's John Coleman. I'm Dustin Owen. Thank you for letting us catch up with
Thank
you.
you.
JC, it was great catching up with you.
That was great.
Check us out, tloponline.com. You go there, you get all of our social handles. If you ever want to connect with me individually, LinkedIn's a great way. I'm Dustin Owen on LinkedIn. That's all the time we have for you today. We will catch you on our next episode.